Hi, I'm Pawan Talker. In my line of work, we talk a lot about foundations, the literal steel and concrete that keep a property standing for decades. But today, we're looking at a different kind of foundation. We're exploring the architecture of a culture and the man who laid its very first brick, Maharishi Valmiki. Thousands of years ago, ancient India existed as a purely oral culture. Knowledge, stories, and sacred texts were passed down strictly by word of mouth, lacking a rigid framework or a structured poetic meter to hold the narratives together. Valmiki was walking along the banks of the Tamasa River when he paused to observe two cranes. They were engaged in a graceful mating ritual by the edge of the clear water. A concealed hunter fired an arrow, striking the male bird. It died instantly, leaving its mate screaming in agony and shock. Witnessing this cruelty triggered an overwhelming emotional reaction in Valmiki, a profound grief known as shoka. In his rage and sorrow, he spontaneously uttered a curse against the hunter. These words flowed into a brand new rhythmic meter, born directly from his sorrow. This spontaneous utterance was the first shloka, a perfectly measured couplet that provided the absolute foundation for all Sanskrit literature. This moment earned him the title of Adi Kavi, the first poet. Valmiki scaled this new rhythmic meter into a massive literary structure, composing the 24,000-verse architecture of the Ramayana. This epic mapped the sprawling solar lineage of the Ikshvaku dynasty. It documented generations of ancient kings, tracing the royal bloodline from the creator god Brahma down through King Dasharatha, and finally to his son, Lord Rama. To populate this massive world, Valmiki used supporting characters to explore complex virtues. We see this in Rama's half-brother, Bharatha, who demonstrated absolute dedication to his brother's cause. When Rama was forced into a 14-year exile, Bharata refused to accept the throne for himself. Instead, he ruled as a regent from the village of Nandigram, placing Rama's sandals on the throne to signify that the true king was still in power. Valmiki engineered a sophisticated framework designed to teach human morality to every generation that followed, using these archetypes of sacrifice to ground his epic narrative. The satirist Aubrey Menon noted that Valmiki was the first author in human history to write himself into his own narrative. During their forest exile, Rama and Lakshmana actually met Valmiki. The author appears physically inside the manuscript, weaving his own presence into the journey. In the final chapter of the epic, the Uttarakhanda, Valmiki's role becomes even more pivotal. His ashram serves as a physical refuge for Sita after she is exiled from Ayodhya. It was here that Sita gave birth to her twin sons, Love and Kush. Valmiki took on the responsibility of their education, raising them within the safety of the ashram. In a final meta-narrative twist, Valmiki taught the twins to recite the very epic he had written about their father, Rama. This blurred line between creator and character established the ashram as an ultimate sanctuary, a site of physical safety and cultural authority pilgrims still visit today. Transitioning from the ancient text to the layers of storytelling built on top of it requires looking past centuries of embellishment. One popular myth introduced in the Skanda Purana claimed Valmiki was originally a violent highway robber named Lohajanga, who ambushed travelers to support his family. Academic consensus points to this myth being a later fabrication, created by storytellers centuries after the original Ramayana. Preachers claimed he sat in penance, chanting the word Mara, meaning die, until the sounds reversed into Rama, the name of God. The myth suggests he sat so still that termite mounds covered his body, providing a colorful explanation for his name. In reality, Valmiki derives from Valmik, meaning anthill, a traditional reference to the immovable state of deep meditation. Ancient scriptures record a different lineage. Valmiki is the 10th son of Varuna, the god of water. This identity as a legitimate sage returned his legacy to its classical roots, far from the later stories of a criminal past. In my own profession, we look at the structural integrity of a building to predict its lifespan. Valmiki did the same for Indian culture. He built a masterpiece on a foundation of empathy, creating a cultural structure that has outlasted 3,000 years of myth.